tips to help your teen overcome stress and overwhelm. The tip is to use positive language around them. Now, dear mum, you may be that type of mum who is the glass is half full, right? That's the type of person you are. But when it comes to supporting your teen, you really need to use hopeful, positive language around them. And honestly, it really is effective. Whatever beliefs that we have about our teen, surely 100% they are believing that and they're absorbing it and taking it in. So whatever we think of them and whatever we've said to them in their formative years, they absorb that and then they start to believe that about themselves. So if we say that we believe our teen, your teen is lazy and disorganized, then you know what? They will believe that they are lazy and disorganized. And that's just how it is. They're like sponges soaking it all up. And you know that. You know that with lots of things, that we teach them in your homes. So many different things that we have as culture. Now let me share an anecdote, a story about my eldest daughter. Now she, I would model, so I'm guilty of this. I would model to her how to organize her room and her things, give her baskets and boxes. I'm a teacher, so I used to love organization, right? Stationery is my jam. So anyway, going back to the story, I would show her how to do it, but she would be not very tidy, not very organized. So even though while I'm modeling how to do it, I would exclaim to her and say to her, the words I used was, "You're so tidy, you're untidy, this is not good enough, come on, this is how you lose things because you don't put things back in its place, and you're so disorganized, you're so messy," but at the same time modeling how to do it. Now the problem is that it's the words that I've used, because when I say that to her, she's now absorbed that to be part of who she is. And yes, she is in her 20s and she's living away at university in a flat on her own. And what do you want to take a guess and what her room's like? Yeah, it's disorganized and it's messy because unfortunately she's absorbed that to be who she is. That's who I am, that's who I am. I am disorganized. That's part of her identity now, which is obviously not nice and not self-serving. So what I should have done, all right, on hindsight, is modeled how to do it, of course, model her how to do it, give her the boxes and the things and do it with her. But at the same time, the words that I needed to use should have been, "Wow, that's amazing the way you've organized that basket. Oh wow, you hanged your things up," and really hunt for those times when they do it, because then what would have happened? If I used that positive language, they would have then absorbed that and thought, "Oh yeah, I'm an organized person. Oh wow, yeah, that's who I am. I'm tidy. I'm someone who hangs things up. I'm someone who sorts out their, jewelry or whatever and puts them in different boxes or whatever. That's who I am." And that would have become her identity. Yeah. So of course you can switch it, but it's so much easier when they're in those young formative years. And of course, as a teen, sometimes you're fighting fire, aren't you? You're firefighting at this stage, but it's just do it. Just switch it around, because their brains haven't developed until they're 25. So there's a lot of rewiring that we can do. I'll explain rewiring in a bit, but swap the language. Okay, so words become reality. I'm just reading this for you. Now, I said that already. It starts with, right, let me explain this. It all starts, so an action just doesn't appear out of nowhere, right? I didn't just come on this camera and say, right, I'm just gonna do a video and let me just tape this now. It didn't happen. I had to think the thought first, right? I had to think, oh, you know what? Today would be a really good day to share this tip. And then I had to feel excited about it, right? Or a bit nervous, whatever. And then I had a feeling, and then I did the action. So let me summarize. You think a thought first. So the words come first, whether it's the ones that you say to yourself. Then there's a feeling, and then that evokes and triggers an action, which if you do that action regularly enough, that's your behavior, right? It doesn't happen any other way. You cannot do any action, even if it's to go and drink a glass of water. Why did you drink that water? You thought, you know what, I haven't drunk enough water. You felt thirsty and you felt, yeah, let me go and fix this issue. I can go and get water. Where's the nearest shop? Or let me go downstairs and get a drink of water. Then you drink a glass of water. You get it, right? So words, feeling, action. So what I want you to do, if you think about this, so the words, if your teen is saying, I'm so messy, I'm so disorganized, right? These are the words, whether they're saying it to themselves or you as a parent are saying it. Then what does that evoke? That triggers a feeling, the feeling of I'm useless, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough. Because if I was, then, mum would keep moaning about my room. And that triggers inaction. What's the point in trying? The room is too messy and I am a messy person. And that's obviously the dangerous bit. I'm just an anxious teen. I'm just a depressed person. I am just useless at exams. I'm not an exam person. You may have heard these sort of things a lot. And of course, from my years of experience in the classroom, 24 years, giving away my age. But, I've spent a lot of time with young people, and these are the things that they say. I'm just not good at maths. I'm not a maths person. I'm not a science person. It's become their identity, and that identity didn't come from nowhere. It came from the words that they said or that was said to them, which evoked a feeling, and then the action or the behavior, and then assuming an identity. So, as part of the work that I do with teens and their families, I rewire their subconscious. And that sounds scary, what's that all about? I love to get to the root cause of their action. Basically, what does your teen believe about themselves? Now, if we can change the words that we say on a regular basis, okay, we can change the inner thoughts, then what happens, which form the basis of your self-belief, your teen self-belief. Then we can change the feelings that they have about themselves, and then of course that will trigger the action. So we want to change the action. It's a bit like, you just want to study harder, you want to revise better, you want to do well in your exams, you just don't want to be depressed anymore or have anxiety. But the thing is, that's when I go, let's go back to the root cause. What's driving that? Because action don't come out of nowhere. Overeating doesn't come out of nowhere. Smoking, substance abuse doesn't come from nowhere. It came from something. It came from a belief. Obviously a feeling, and then before the feeling, a belief. So with your teen, it's great to do this. Give them empowering words. And if we can do that, if I can find out what the root cause is, what is that belief that they have about themselves, I get to rewire their subconscious and put positive, self-serving words and thoughts in it. What I do is I obviously do the session, and then I do a bespoke audio recording, which is just for them, with their name, their issues, and the words that they want to hear to achieve their dreams and goals. So that's what's kind of like a designer session. It's bespoke. And it gets to address the beliefs that they want and, get them to meet their future self, the life that they want to live. And, the results and feedback have been amazing. And, that's why I'm sharing these tips with you, so you can try and do some of this on your own. So swap phrases for more positive ones. In light of, exams and the stress that they have at school, I'd like you to say this instead. They could say this, and you can model it. And you say, you know what, Sarah, you know what, Zach, why don't you say these words instead? I have phenomenal coping skills. These exams and the revision, the schedule, it's a challenge, schoolwork, college work, whatever, it's a challenge. But I have phenomenal coping skills and I can do this and feel great about it. Okay, I choose to do this work and feel great about it, because, your mind, your subconscious is listening to this thing. Oh, really? You're saying this about maths? You usually hate maths. You usually just jump into bed and avoid it. Avoidance. Procrastinate, because another tip here, bonus, kids or teens or even as adults, we procrastinate because it's a safety mechanism. We're hiding ourselves. We don't want to face the reality. We don't want to face criticism. Actually, that's basically what it is. When we, hide and we delay, and we procrastinate, is because we're just trying to avoid criticism. Because criticism in the past, sometime in the past, in your formative years, it caused pain. And remember, your mind is trying to move you away from pain and keep you safe. So if safe is just being in bed under the covers, then that's where you're going to stay. All right. And obviously we don't want that. We want them to be self-serving. We want them to have beautiful, amazing, wonderful lives. Achieving the goals that make them excited and gives them butterflies of excitement. And we really want that for you as well, obviously, as their mum. But try that. I have phenomenal coping skills. These exams are challenging, but I choose to work on it. I choose to do this work and feel great about it. Yeah, that's why sometimes, you know, especially with grandparents like my own mum and dad, when they talk about all the nieces and nephews, or even my children, oh, tell them to work hard, you know, they can work harder. And I swapped that word. I said, don't use the word work hard. Who wants to work hard? I don't want to work hard. I want to be on a beach enjoying myself. Nobody wants to work hard. Just say, this work is challenging, but I choose to do it and feel great about it, because you've given a really good sort of ending to it and telling your subconscious that you like this. And it's like, oh, all right, then she's enjoying this. Let her have the energy and do more. All right. So words are really important. Words are your reality. You can swap phrases to be more positive and empowering, and you can rewire your subconscious using better words. I hope you find it helpful. Let me just check that I've given you everything that I wanted. Oh yeah, this is just the last tip. Students will say, these exams are killing me. This is torture. Oh my God, it's hell. The third year of medicine is hell. I can't stand it. Oh my God, you know, all these exams or whatever. But again, don't use those words, because the picture that you've put in your mind, you know, it's really vivid. It's like, oh my God, you know, if this is hell and torture, why are you doing it? I'm not going to let you do it. And then cue the anxiety and the anxious feelings and, you know, panic attack. I'll just squeeze this in, but I remember this case that we were studying, and it was to do with someone who was scared of flying. They had a fear of flying, and they saw that the picture they made in their mind when it came to aeroplanes and getting on a flight was, that's just a coffin in the air. You know, that's a coffin in the air. Why would I go into that plane? Because she's obviously scared of plane crashes and losing her life. And we, you know, was to switch and swap the picture that she had in her mind, rather than a coffin. Just think, you know, this is like going on a fairground ride. It's going on a ride, a roller coaster. I'm just going to Disneyland. And change the words and change the feeling about it, because you change the words, you can change the feeling. And then the action was she got on the plane. So it works. Change the words and pictures that you're using. Swap the phrases. Be more positive around them. And just, you know, that will give them the self-belief that they need. Yeah, that will really give them the self-belief. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can apply yourself. I know it's a challenge, but you can do it. I hope you find it helpful. Hopefully soon we'll get together and we're doing Q&A where you get to ask any questions. All right, I'll see you soon.